let's jump into a little Q&A, my favorite part. Let me get rid of this banner. Hello, everyone. Mad Cow says it. David's here for his daily dose of Sweatcoin information. Funny how Terra is nothing for anyone. So as I understand it, there's a warrant out for Do Kwon, and they're looking to revoke his passport, which means he'll have to go back to Korea. And if that happens, then he'll be picked up right there by authorities. Not looking good for him. I got to tell you, I was surprised he did that documentary. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where he actually talked about those things. I mean, I don't think that was the best idea, but maybe I could be wrong. Great. When can we expect a Terra refund? That'd be a good one. And or Robert's back. And or Corey Klepperstein's guy's Twitter. Yeah. I think that's the guy from Swan, right? Yeah. We're having a good day. I don't know what that is. Darth Mike, who is now a new moderator. Getting back the same amount of crypto is a better outcome than getting a cash payment, even as dumped around 40% since the sales go up. It's true. I wonder. I mean, that's what I would assume they would do it the lesser of two evils. Like, what was June 11th? What was let me take a look. That's interesting. Let's just go. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Let's go back in time. I just missed it. June 11th. I was trying to. Hey, I gotta tell you, if they're okay with it, and they say no, we're gonna give you back 28,000 for your Bitcoin. Okay, that's fine. But they'll probably pick the lesser of two evils and go, no, here's your one Bitcoin, which is now worth 19,817. What? 19,000? Guys, this could be your last chance to buy Bitcoin under 20K. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Funny stuff. Yeah, my Voyager's all good. Now we have to wait. Exactly. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Hey, Mad Cow. Yeah, I will switch over to the Costa Rica green screen in 30 days, matter of fact. Catalonia on Cardano. Yeah, it's always amazing to me. Golfer, nobody takes off for the Q&A. Usually, it's funny because usually I get more people in the Q&A. Maybe because they just kind of filter in. Because, YouTube, they'll sometimes tell you that Rob's live, but sometimes they don't. Oh, my man Guy. Guy gave you a huge shout out today on his live. Very nice. Man. I got to tell you, that was a fun event. When I went down to the UK and did the interview with Guy, yeah, it was fun times. He's good. He's got a good group of people around him. Good dude. Good guy. Let's see. By the dip. Your thoughts on L100's Avalanche and Solana? I own both of those. Hope they do well. It just depends. Like Peter Thiel, the investor, he had this pretty good statement. He just said that competition is for losers. And he says, really what you want to do is get into an area where there's not so much competition. And then you can dominate and you can grow your business before all the competitors come in. You've built a moat around it. The thing with Avalanche and Solana, and people will say, well, Solana, the transactions per second, and it's a little centralized, but no big deal. Maybe, I don't know. And Avalanche remains to be seen. I still like Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot, which is kind of funny because those are kind of like, they're all the Ethereum mafia, if you think about it. Because Vitalik, Dr. Gavin Wood, and Charles, they were all part of the Ethereum Foundation. And now here they are spinning off their things. Wow. Jared says, it would be great if the 3AC guys would also have their passports revoked. Well, it didn't. And as I understand, they're someplace in the Middle East. I want to say Saudi Arabia or something. I don't know. Corey says, that doesn't seem right to me. I was grandpapaed into the urn. That means I won't get anything back. No, that's not what they're saying. What they're going to say is what they said in that document. And we talked about this yesterday, I think. There was, and this does not pertain to anybody outside the US. There was earn, where you put your crypto in there, it would earn so much, and they were doing some wacky stuff. But then there was custody. And the only reason that Americans had custody was because the regulators came down to Celsius and said, we don't like what you guys are doing. This doesn't make any sense. And they were right. So we want you just to put this in some way and separate this from the crypto that you are lending out to God knows who and doing whatever else with it. They said, fine, we'll do that. They said, okay, we have a custody account and a earn account. And in the terms and conditions, right there, very clearly, it does state in earn that they own your crypto. But unfortunately, they didn't get around to it as far as the terms and conditions to talk about what would happen with the custody. And since it's a gray area, they say that does belong to people, and they're probably going to give it back. Are they going to give it all back? I hear there's a cap around $7,000. So whatever. So Corey, they're probably going to give something back at some point, but I think there's a lot of minutia going back and forth. And I think one of those is they want to start up this new business called Kelvin, which good luck to you. I mean, there's really two scarcities in the world today: trust and attention. Those are really scarce items. Trust and attention. It's so hard to keep people's attention. Very hard, especially in the way that everything works with technology and social media and things like that. And trust is even a bigger thing. Trust is a commodity you can't buy. So when they talk about Kelvin's going to be their thing, I'm like, you know what? Go for it. And then people did remind me. They go, Rob, you're a little naive. People will go for it. And you know why? Because they'll forget about this stuff. In 2, 3, 4 years, they'll be like, Kelvin, that kind of sound. They probably might be even new to crypto. They're like, they don't even know what Celsius is. If they can bag Mashinsky and keep him out of the forefront, they'll probably do a lot better. Because then people are like, oh, this Kelvin's got a great thing. It does swaps, and it does trades, and it does multi-sig wallets and NPC. Before you know it, that business goes up, and the revenue and the profits that they yield from that can go to paying people like me and Corey. So just one of those things. Okay. I don't know, man. It's a funny thing to me that people with a lot of money seem to not get caught, except for Bernie Madoff. He did get caught. But he didn't have any money at the end, so what are you going to do? It's a good one. Colin says, hey, Rob, do you think people staking ETH will get the ETH? No, it doesn't. That's not how it's going to work. So remember, stakers, like they said, are now the new miners, essentially. So if you can stake 32 ETH, you're good to go. Or if you want to stake with a crypto exchange, good luck. I'm not doing that. But yeah. So the big question, though, is when you're staking your ETH, what's the yield going to be? Some people have quoted 10 to 15%. I know other people said, now it's going to be like 5-6%. But still, with those, I got to tell you, ETH's going to do great. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of things are being built on it. It's looking pretty good, especially with this transition. They did it. Good for them. But when I look at it, and as far as like staking, if you ever stake with Cardano, it is seamless. Now, Cardano's got its own problems. I'm not going to say that. But I mean, like, Cardano knocked it out of the park with staking. Just crush it. There is no lockup periods. There's no slashing. It's super simple. It's super cheap to do. And it's awesome. With ETH, totally different experience. Actually, I really shouldn't say because I don't stake my ETH. So what am I talking about? I just read these things. All right. Bobby shouts. Bobby, photographer. I like the beard. Thanks. It's going to go away pretty soon. I think I have to shave it because I got some sunspots and things I got to get rid of. We'll see. Billy McCullough. Hey, Rob, Near Protocol. Any thoughts? I got to tell you, I had big concerns about Near. Big. Because they went from kind of obscurity to taking on Sweatcoin. Where's David? David Allen, here's your information for the day. So with Near Protocol, they everything is based. I mean, that is like 80% of the transactions are on Near protocol are from the Sweat token launch and everything that's going on right now. But they actually held up to it. And one of the things that gave me a little bit of good vibes was their Nightshade protocol, or how they're moving into sharding. And it's like 0, 1, 2, 3. It's like a 4-step process. They just passed 0 and they're on 1. So they're actually in the sharding. They're actually a little bit ahead of Ethereum. Can they keep up with this pace? Not for sure, but it looks pretty good. And there's a reason why I think they're ranked 25 or 24. Also, just so you know, I would like to do a stake pool with Near protocol. I'm just trying to figure out with the guys. But right now you can get like 11% just for staking on Near. And I stake my Near. I have 2 wallets. You go to Near. What the heck is it called? Let me show you something. If you want to figure out where the wallets are, watch this. Go to CoinGecko. Oh, 26. Sorry, a little wrong. And it's under wallets. You can click on Near Wallet, and it'll take you to wallet.near.org. I got 2. One I've secured with a mnemonic phrase. The other one I've secured with my Nano Ledger. Works out great, seamless, simple. And I don't have to fear about any kind of, well, there may be a hacks, who knows, I don't know. But it seems to be a little bit more aggressively secure. And again, you can stake it. I stake all my, well, not all. I've staked a good chunk of my Near with a couple different stake pool operators, and 11% is pretty good, I got to tell you. So good question. Good question, because I've been doing a lot with it. Ada Army, that's right. What? Oh, Birdie must be talking about Johnson's softball. Let's see. Yeah, Rob, I don't know. This fellow also said the gas fees will not improve, although many other problems. His take is pretty dark. Is this, I don't know if you're talking about Ethereum or Cardano or Near. Sure. Our last chance until the next one. Remember, we're at 19,800. This is your last chance to buy Bitcoin under 20K. Just kidding. There'll be plenty of opportunities. The real question is this your last chance to buy Bitcoin above 19K? That's the bigger question. Or I should say sell above 19K. If you're going to sell. I'm not going to sell for a while. I do have that video coming out. Yes, it'll be out either this Saturday or next Saturday. And it's going to talk about, we talk about DCA in the show all the time, right? Dollar cost average, buy and hold, all that stuff, right? We don't talk about diamond hands. To me, I think that's stupid. But I do want to hold for a while. What I want to get into is how I'm going to look at the next bull market when I'm selling, and just take a look at some indicators and exactly what it is. And the thing is, I want to do that now, because if I can put a plan in place now, I can stick to that plan a little better when things get hairy in the bull market, because we get greedy, right? So if I put a little plan in now, I think I'll be a lot better placed. Now, plans can change a little bit. We'll try to stick to the centrality of what it is. Okay. Yeah. Jake Snake, that's a good name. I understand that people want to make money, but this seems too risky. I saw on CNBC that 70% of people in crypto are long-term losers. I think you're right. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's because, unfortunately, there's been this narrative that has been fed to people from everything from social media to news to publications, which is that crypto is a get-rich place. If you want to make a lot of money, then you got to get into crypto. And people think that they hear about the Dogecoin millionaires, they hear about all the people and the Lambos and the yachts, and they're like, well, I can do that. I'll just put it into there and then just, wait to ride it up. And they don't come in until the bull runs. And then, of course, they put in, and then they get to a point where everything starts to drop, and they don't really have that mentality like we do. Because if you're here, you're not a tourist. Your mentality is way different from a normal investor. I'm just guessing. Because if you're here, when we're down, when our market is down, especially Bitcoin being down over almost 72% now, and some alts being down 90% plus, there's a reason you're here, because your mentality is different from the average investor. You understand that there's a long-term outlook, and it's not about panic selling and selling on the decline. It's waiting, writing things out, using some basic principles that I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. Basic principles are look at things in the long haul, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. So Jake, when you said that, I can see it. And there's a reason why not everybody's a millionaire. Because people just don't get it. And that's just it. So I had this discussion with my wife today, actually. Let me show you this tweet. And this is what I'm talking about. It was from, what is her name? Huck? Here we go, right here. First of all, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so. Usually I do a lot of things over there before I even do the live stream. And I was talking to her about this. Huck says, I sold a portion of my holdings to buy a house. This was in the bull market, I would assume. I thought I would feel awful after selling. I don't feel bad. I feel relieved, peaceful. I overinvested and stretched myself. Almost my entire net worth was in crypto. I feel that securing profits and diversifying is important. How many times, how much would you get attacked if you said that in, I don't know, March, April, May, June, July, 2021? If you said, hey, I sold everything. I sold a big chunk to pay for my house. You know, people would gang up on you and be like, you're stupid. You're not a diamond hands. You're paper hands. And you're weak and da-da-da-da. You got to hang in there. I want you to remember this tweet. Because right now, she and me and a bunch of other people, and you can read the responses. They said, yeah, I did the same thing. And worked out pretty well. Johnny Crypto. Diamond hands. Asinine meme popularized by Reddit edges. No profit because you don't sell. Don't be that person. And so on and so forth. So yeah, it's just something to remember. All right. Thoughts on, I think I answered this. Will you go to London again this year? I would love to. There's some back and forth. I don't know if it's going to be in London again. I think Guy and his team are thinking of a different place. Don't quote me, because they'll probably change some things. But I wouldn't mind going back to UK. I like the beer. The food, let's see. I really like the outdoor pubs. Those are cool. It's a good question. Johnny says, how is Voyager going to send our coins back to us? Do we send them a MetaMask or other Coinbase wallet address and we receive our coins? Thanks. I don't think this will go through MetaMask or Coinbase wallet. I think the big question is, and this is what we covered yesterday, as far because there is a auction going on right now for Voyager. And it was, let's say Thursday. I think it was supposed to happen on Tuesday. They had to extend it because there was a bunch of offers. And usually when you have a bunch of offers, usually people are out bidding, and trying to get into this place. And I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but usually when they extend things because they said we have a lot of bidders, it's not because people are bidding too low, because they're kind of going up. Could be. So I think whoever wins that battle, Binance please, then they will roll that in and decide what they want to do. If they want to absorb that into their platform, or they want to keep that going with new management, or keep the same people in place, but with more oversight. I don't know. But it's either going to be one of those things. So we'll see. But I don't think it's going to be MetaMask or Coinbase Wallet. It's a good question, Johnny. Barrett Solana with no downtime. Gaffer Nates. Anytime I hear anything about Cell, I just feel sick. Yeah. Me too. But I got to tell you. My thesis is this. I think we're in for some more pain, macro-wise. And I don't think this was the absolute bottom. I just don't. I could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, well, we just keep dollar cost averaging. But does anybody think that the next bull run is going to be in 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026? It means we got a lot of time. I know people that lost some money, like myself. I did too. But now it's the time to start over and think to myself, okay, if I get this back, let's say I take a haircut, 50%, 40%, 30%, or whatever it is off the top, and I get my crypto back, or I get money, or whatever they do for me. Great. And I'll take that, never deal with them again, never deal with any kind of earn program, and just move forward, because we can only deal with the things that we have absolute control of. What do we have control of right now? Well, we take a look at the markets and go, is this a good time to invest? Should I invest? Should I do something else? Should I sit back? Maybe I should get into real estate. Maybe I should get into other kind of businesses. So with Celsius, we can't control it. So all we do is we get the information and we go from there. And that's it. Charlotte, it was great to meet you and guy in the UK. Good to meet you. I don't remember a lot of things these days, but hopefully I get to see everybody again. That was fun. Kelkshitz has he's got some really good comments, and I read them from time to time, even after this stuff. You can buy a lot of passports for those money, with the money that 3AC has, and he's got a really good point. Mr. McPickle says Polkadot will most likely become irrelevant. Perhaps, who knows? I know there's a big push by Woods to change everything over to as decentralized as possible. I think that's one of the criteria that fan of the show, Gary Gensler, is talking about. Jose Rodriguez, what about Polygon? What about Polygon? Well, let me tell you, that is one of the alts I keep buying. Little mystery solved there for everybody. I think Polygon's going to be huge. I mean, look, there was this story we covered a couple of days ago about Starbucks and rewards points. I thought it was dumb. But, I mean, it's just a step in the right direction. That's what's good. But Polygon itself is a powerhouse. Polygon and Polygon Studios. Polygon Studios is reaching out to Web 2 and gaming platforms that are in the traditional free-to-play to move things over to play-to-earn and then go from Web 2 to Web 3. They're doing a lot of big things. That's where I found out about Gensel Kishi. Did a pretty good deal. On top of that, they were just part of that. They were one of 6 platforms to be picked up by Disney for their incubator program. And I got to tell you, that's pretty big. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. And if they can get in there and network with a lot of bigger businesses and go, oh, we can help you bring you to Web3. We can help you to do these things. We've already done it. That's a pretty good thing. And it works, makes things cheap. So, and people always tell me it's not a layer 2 solution, Rob. It's a side chain. So sure, it makes things cheap. I don't really care. Yeah, it's a bear market. It's going to be bleeding pump. It's going to be bleeding, but mainly sideways for a year. There's some bright spots out there, just not many. Brian is bullish on Matic. Matic Polygon, sure. Corey goes, hey, Rob, an Army guy myself. I was a 37 Foxtrot. What years were you in? What was your MOS? So I'm old. I was in from 97 to 2005. And what I was called, and I know how old I am because when I say this, you're like, that's not what it was. 91 Bravo back in the day, it was an Army medic. That's what a medic was, 91 Bravo, run around, try to save people. Great. Then there's another one called 91 Charlie, which is an LVN, which is a nurse. Now it's called something different. Then it became a 91 Whiskey M6, and now it's not even called that. I don't know what the heck it's called. So that's how old I am. The MOSs, the military occupational specialty, whatever it was called back then is not what it's called now. So yeah, it was good times. Dig Swimming Dave says lots of wrenches. There's always lots of wrenches here. Bobby, how dare you? Put a fork in Zilliqa, it's done. I don't know. Maybe. I don't own it. I don't own it because I really can't talk about it. Jareet says, someone else can jump into Kelvin. It won't be me. Digital cable. I'll be happily keep warning people of Kelvin. That's the thing. As time goes on, I think I'll still be around in 3-5 years. Who knows? And we'll be talking about it. We will be talking about it. Do you think Zilliqa has a future? I don't know. David Allen, Sweatcoin, yes. What's up with DOTS? Again, they're trying to push for as much decentralization as possible. Node operators and things like that. So I still own Polkadot. I believe in it. I'm looking at the shitcoin only because you shield sword. I will just say this. Remember, Sweatcoin's probably we're in a bear market. Don't hold me accountable like we're like, hey, it went from a fraction of a penny up to, I think it went to 9 cents, which is pretty good. So you could 9x. And now it's down to 4 cents. You jerk. How dare you lie to me? Like, look, it's going to be volatile. I think it's going to do pretty well. I'm going to actually be on Paul Barone's channel, Paul Barone Network, to talk about it. And I will be, just between us, I told Paul before, like, I was like, Paul, this new project's going to be great. You should look into it. It's like, meh. V Boone, how's your health, Rob? My health is much better. So there was a time when I was just sluggish, really going down tubes. I don't know what if it was stress or if it was something else, but feeling much better now. Yeah. First class scammers, stay away. Yeah, Audius. Rob, what about Audius? I think potentially the one to own that space. So I didn't really get an Audius. I had an opportunity to invest early and I missed it. So again, remember this, folks. There's going to be a lot of opportunities that's going to come to you. If it doesn't speak to you, you don't feel it, and you do your own research and you feel like this is not it, then you don't invest and just stay out. There's a lot better opportunities just to stay a lot of no's. And in the back of your mind, when you find something that works for you and you say, oh, that's a definite, then get into that one after you do a bunch of course, research. But with Audius, didn't really speak to me. I don't know if they're building or not, so I really can't speak to it, Charles. I'm sorry. Charles Xavier. X-Men. Yeah, I know. How in the world is Charles H. only 34 years old? Guy works a lot. And look at me. I look awful. I'm 23 years old. No, I'm just kidding. Keith, that's not true. Sweatcoin's a data mining operation. They just want to track you 24 hours a day. So look in the terms and conditions. And also, if you're so inclined, I don't blame you, because you can't trust anybody, right? Treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. Look in the terms and conditions. Talk about their data mining, if you want to say that. And then also take a look at the deep dive that I did. There's a link in the description. It says Sweatcoin, da-da-da. I think it's at the 34-minute mark. It's me, Oleg, who's the co-founder, and Ophir, who's the chief marketing officer. And I asked him that specific question. Do you guys data mine? Who do you sell it to? He's like, we don't do that because blah, 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 blah. Again, could everything be a lie and the terms and conditions be a lie? Sure, it could be. But this is the best information I have for you. Crypto Wolf. You can hack code, but you can't fake energy and time. Proof of stake is also similar to our current money and right system, and decentralization will decrease over time. Sad day if you believe in freedom. I don't believe that. I don't. Well, there is a caveat, and this is actually one of those things. So this is one of the issues that came up with our stake pool, with the Cardano stake pool called D-News. And everybody wants they say support, and this really comes down to the community if you think about it. And they say support single stake pool operators, because what people were getting sick of was these big companies like a Binance or whoever else. They'd open up because there is a K parameter. There's only so much that you can stake with each individual Cardano stake pool. I want to say 63 million, 64 million. Correct me in the comments. I always forget. And it used to be like 128. Well, they switched that to only 64, which was like, these big companies was like, who cares? We'll just do, we have one stake pool, it's full. Now we're going to open up a second one. And before you know it, you had people with like 13, 14 stake pools. That's not very decentralized. You got a point. However, it is spaced out. So like with us, there was a big uproar because we did 2 stake pools right off the bat, because we thought they were going to go from 128 to 64 to 31, and they didn't. So we have 2 stake pools, but they're only like 25% capacity, both of them. So it's not even one stake pool. So you can, if you take a look at it and go, if there's a bunch of companies that all just buy up all the stake pools and just have them right there, I could see your point. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think that you could get a consolidation. It is what it is. Talking about the ETH merge. Thanks, Robert. Huh. I noticed the UFC advertising for VeChain. Plus, now I don't. I like UFC. TND Tesla, remind me tomorrow. I will definitely do that. Brian Mick says, I live by DCA and by the dips. The big question that I have for Brian and everybody, do you also have a plan to sell? That's the bigger question. I got to tell you, it's easy to buy, super easy to buy. It's even harder. It's hard to not buy, especially if you look at what's going on right now and you think to yourself, oh, this is it. This is low. I'm like, I don't know. And then people will say, well, just go all in right now. I'm like, well, who knows? Maybe it could go down even lower. We don't know what Jerome Powell is going to do. We don't know what the energy crisis is going to actually lead to, especially in Europe with those crazy, unbelievable, not just the gas prices, propane and everything else. I mean, and then of course the food prices are going up, and then the housing market. I mean, I just saw a report that says that there's quite a decline. It's not pre-pandemic levels yet, but it's going there. So the question that I have is this the absolute bottom? I mean, and what's the optics? What actually brings us to a better, stable GDP and economy to grow, so where people can actually spend? Again, I know there's a difference between the economy and the market, but I just don't see it yet. Oh, I didn't know that. David says no Ledger X Bluetooth support for near wallet. I'll shut up now. I just plug it in my computer and go away. It's a good point. Joby says time in the market and diversify. The only true way to make it. It's a good point. Just diversify. Just get out there. I mean, I diversify pretty hard. Speaking of, yeah. Jake 80. Problem is most moon boys are teenagers or 20-somethings, prime targets for crooks. We're all targets for crooks, let's be honest. Sam says no tourist here. Probably so. Patience is a great. It's very hard to come by, though. How many millions are you, Rob? I do okay. Oh, was this? No, sorry. I try. Parrish, do you interview tea experts such as Gareth Soloway? I got to tell you, man, I was lost. When Gareth Soloway came out, you can search for him. He's got a lot of great predictions. They've come true. Some haven't, but recently he's been knocking it out of the park. And he keeps saying about how there's another downward push. He says, I mean, it could go below 10K. I'm like, I don't know about that. But if he gets that one right, I think he'll be like immortalized on social media for quite some time until he gets the next thing wrong. And then we'll go there. Yeah, I'd love to have him on. I'll talk to Paul. He's always has him on his show. Maybe he can give me the connection. I follow you on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I gotta tell you, Twitter can be a real cesspool. Dez, hello Dez. Our currency lost nearly 70% of its value in 10 years, so no choice. Quite a bit. We printed a lot more, I tell you that. You want to know how to be a millionaire in crypto? Take 2 million, invest it all, and then in a year you'll be a millionaire. That's a good point. It's the same joke as far as angel investing. You want to know how to be a great angel investor? Or do you want to know how to be a millionaire in angel investing? Start off with being a multimillionaire. Yeah, see, there it is. Drunken G says, I feel I sold too early when Bitcoin is 30K before the peak of the bull run. See? So this new video I'm going to put out, I'm going to talk about hitting between hopefully 60 to 80% of tops and just going and being happy with it and being okay with it. And and some people will say we should never sell crypto. And I kind of get their point because they believe that that cash is going to collapse at some point. And we're going to use all crypto. And we could. I just don't see that happening in the next 2-3 years. I just don't. So again, hedge your bets. So when I talk about it, I'm going to talk about it's a 40-20-20 split. And meaning in the beginning, you sell around 40%. Based on some indicators. Then you wait a little bit, see if it rises up, sell 20, rise up even more, sell 20, but then you've only sold 80%, but you still have 20% for that blow off top. And I don't think you should ever sell all your crypto. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. But I think if you do, I'm just going to ask you right now, people in the comment section, would you be okay selling 80% of your crypto on November 2021? Or not even then. Let's just say like August 2021, when there was even a dip from 60. I think Bitcoin is at 56K. Total market cap was still above 2.5 trillion. Would you be okay with that? Selling 80%? Just a question. And then buying back in, of course. I love it when Guy turns off his accent. Yeah, a little fun fact. Guy is from Brooklyn. Very thick New York accent. I'm just kidding. Yeah, crypto. Have you thought about putting your show on a podcast? I love your stuff. And since I'm always driving, I'm always looking for good stuff to listen to. Just thought it is. I just don't know if I would translate to that. Because, I mean, I guess if you're listening to it, it's not like you need the visuals. I'm just reading anyhow or talking right now. I read all the questions. So, yeah, I probably should. I tried it before. It just didn't take off. I gave it 6 months. And maybe it's just me not knowing the minutia of what to do. Yeah. Shavo says, don't go to London last time crypto crashed. Good one, golfer. That's a good point, Neville. And this might lead me to one of my last points. And this is what I believe. Anyone that says that they are holding forever is likely wanting you to be their exit liquidity. Think about that. I really want you to think about that hard. Everything that you've been told about holding on forever, hold on for dear life, dollar cost or not, or be diamond hands forever, right? I think sometimes when you get those people that say that, I think maybe deep down they're just like, I hope these suckers hold forever so I can dump on them. Just a thought. All right, so that's it for today. So look, everybody, I got to get out of here. I got a bunch of other things to do. I'm trying to do that, putting together that obstacle course charity event for kids. So I got to go out there and do a little construction. So look, that's it for today. Thanks so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. And that's it. So that's all we have for today. Tomorrow is Friday, and it'll be DCA on my show. So it'll be me, Ben from Into the Cryptoverse, and James from Invest Answers. If you have specific questions, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll answer these guys when we get there, or just stop by. So that's it. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.